You're listening to My Comic Life on the My Comic Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to My Comic Life, folks. That's right, we are your one-stop podcast for all things geek, nerd, comic, video games, movies. You want it, you got it. We are so happy that you're here listening. As always, sitting across from me is the twice deposed ruler of Atlantis, and yet still the one true king of the Iron Throne, Alex, my liege. Say hi to the folks there, Alex.
And I'm taking on all challengers, too. Hey, what's going on, you fans out there? Love is in the air, and we love that you're with us right now on this fabulous Valentine's Day week. We hope that you're able to at least spend some time with a loved one, whether that be through digital or perhaps in person if you're lucky enough.
Yeah. You and I are both lucky. We're getting to spend Valentine's Day with our lucky ladies.
Lucky ladies, friend of the show.
Yeah. Friend of the show, supporters of the show.
Hopefully, shoot.
Hopefully, yeah, man. Fingers crossed that none of us are in the doghouse yet.
Absolutely, man. So, the couple of things that went on this week, couple of big things that went on this week, I believe. So, right, Sam?
Yeah. Let's kick things off on the DC Universe side of things. We got a rather haunting image here before the latest teaser for the Snyder Cut. We got a black and white photo of Jared Leto's Joker. The Clown Prince of Crime no longer sports the face tattoos and grills that we had seen in David Ayer's 2016 Suicide Squad. Zack Snyder presented a much more unnerving look at the Joker. We were treated to a still photo close-up showcasing the new makeup, much longer hair. He is still missing his eyebrow, something that wasn't present in Suicide Squad. And, at first of all, the first picture was just kind of like a close-up on the face, but then we got a full-on reveal of what he looked like. And, yeah, it was a very haunting, very scary, very oh man. I mean, like I said, just the black and white, I think did this photo justice. Alex, what were your initial thoughts when you saw this kind of new looked Joker here?
I did. So it kind of made me almost remorseful of all the shit I've given him over the years, because when you sit back and you look at this photo, he's a decent Joker as far as he's got the menace down. He can and he did do that in the original Suicide Squad movie. He could flip it on a dime, but it was. I like the costume changes a whole lot. That's what I got to tell you right now. I mean, I wish he had eyebrows. Sure, we all do, but I do like the new makeup. I like that they got rid of the tattoos and the grill. He seems like he's a lot less of a GTA villain and more in line with the actual. So this is how I would put it. In Suicide Squad, he looks perfect for the Gotham that is in your Harley Quinn universe, your Birds of Prey. Whereas this new one from Zack Snyder from the Snyder Cut, he looks like he's more like he'll fit in better in the Snyder universe, if you know what I'm saying. But I mean, what do you think, Sam? I mean, how does this new these new pictures, they doing anything for you?
Oh yeah, no. Like you, I kind of feel bad that I was giving Leto shit, but also, I was kind of in that, kind of minority that I didn't totally hate Leto's performance in Suicide Squad. Like you said, he could turn on the menace and turn it off really well. I hated the whole I'm a hunka, line. I was like,
oh
that.
My God.
That really took me out of it. But the flashback to the breakout of Arkham, and when he's got Harley pinned down and he's like, I'm not gonna kill you, I'm just gonna hurt you a lot, and he's clacking, those electrical wires together, and he, puts them up to her head to give her electroshock therapy. That's that side of the Joker that I want to see more of. That's that menace in the Joker that's sadistic and psychotic and scary, and that's what I want out of my Joker. So yes, loving the long, greasy, mangled hair, loving this kind of to me it's almost like Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque, garb he's got on.
Yeah,
He,
I didn't know what that was. If it was like a butcher's outfit or a
yeah,
surgeon's
yeah.
outfit, or
It
if
looks like a
it's
butcher's apron is draping over him. He's got a fascinating, like, I can't tell what it's like a makeup scar or like a real scar, but he's got like a little scar like going over like his left eye, which I'm curious to see. Like, is that just like a flaw in his makeup, or did somebody give him that scar? You know,
my money's on Batman.
yeah. Um, I kind of feel I don't want to say that I feel too bad for him, but looking at the cell around him, it's got a lone bench in the center and then four concrete walls, and I can't see a toilet in this frame at all. And I'm just like, where are you using the bathroom, man?
Maybe he's on the toilet.
Yeah, he does. He
Take
does have that on the toilet posture in that picture. But so like I said, that's the only thing that like I'm kind of like being like I kind of feel sorry for you. Like if you're just stuck in like four concrete walls, but not that bad because like you've done a lot of menacing shit.
Oh,
But
for
no,
sure, dude. So do you think? Let me ask you. So based on these pictures and interviews with Zack Snyder and he said in this interview on the Vanity Fair article that we're looking at these pictures from, he said the Joker is was something that he really wanted to add into this. He was the only thing he wanted to add into the movie when HBO Max offered him the chance to finalize his own cut. So this Joker is rumored to be much darker than his Suicide Squad interpretation. But where does he sit for you among the previous portrayals of of the Joker, of the Jester of Genocide?
man, for me, I mean, like if I'm ranking Jokers, course, first has got to be Heath Ledger, Dark Knight Rises. That was an amazing Joker performance. Heck, he won an Oscar posthumously for it. Uh, second place. Oh man, this is so hard to even do here. But oh, I got to go Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's Joker.
Mark Hamill is two.
Mark Hamill is
Mark
two.
Hamill is two. All right, hold
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
hold on. I need to pause for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, now we can continue.
Look, man, the reason I'm putting Mark Hamill at two, it's like the Arkham games, like he got to like break loose of like that PG Batman the animated series kind of Joker that he was stuck in, and he brought so much more menace to that role. And plus, I've heard Mark Hamill read some of Ledger's lines. Like if you can YouTube, and Mark Hamill did a reading of "Let's Put a Smile on That Face" in his Joker voice, and like I got chills, I got shook just hearing that, And so yeah, so he is two, Nicholson is three, and man, my hats off to Jack Nicholson. I saw the first Batman when I was like 5 or 6, and I kid you not. I had nightmares from 5 until about 25 about Jack Nicholson's Joker cornering me in some dark alley or chemical factory and trying to gas me and kill me. Like, that man haunted my dreams with his Joker. So, I mean, there you go. Number 3, I guess Leto comes in at 4 and Cesar Romero comes in at 5.
I like that list. I think my list would be pretty much the same with yours. Only I'd
Yeah,
switch
yeah.
the
Give me,
first
give me,
two.
give me, give me your
I would have.
rundown.
I gotta put Hamill one, dude, because he's just like he really
Hamill
gets it.
1. Wow.
Hamill one, dude. He's so good. Like when I look at the Joker, if I'm reading a Batman comic and the Joker comes on, and I seeing a panel with the Joker, like it's Hamill's voice that comes through every single time, and that to me is just like that. You got to give credit where credit is due. The man he just knocks it out of the park every single time. That being said, you are correct. Heath Ledger he won that Oscar for a good reason. He was the best part of that movie, probably the best part of the whole franchise. He absolutely stole every scene he was in. Just a stellar job. And hats off to him. 3, I'm gonna go. Yeah, 3. My 3, 4, 5 is probably the same as yours. I gotta go Nicholson, although he's not really as nightmare inducing to me as he is to you.
Yeah.
All I can remember is just the bat dance, Prince music in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's all I remember. And that giant gun, that thing is always very, very. It had like a 4-foot long barrel. And it took out the whole bat plane.
that giant phallic looking gun right there.
That was good stuff. And four has got to be Leto, and five Romero. But so where does that put? I mean, where do you put Joaquin?
Oh man, I didn't even consider Joaquin. Crap, man. If
So mine
I
might
guess
be four
Joaquin.
Joaquin, five Leto, six Romero. I think because
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. No, oh, man, stupid. Yeah, put Joaquin at 4, Leto at 5. Yeah, Romero at 6. You're absolutely right. He blanked my mind. That Joker movie was like so. That Joaquin Phoenix's Joker film is what I like to describe as a depressingly good movie. Like you come out depressed at the end of it, but you're like, that's a good movie, but I'm depressed. Like I don't go back and watch a ton of depressingly good films over and over again. So that's one. Yeah, like I initially saw Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in theaters, and I haven't gone back to really rewatch it again. Unlike and this speaks to these previous Jokers. Obviously, I've gone back and watched Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. Plenty of the Mark Hamill, Batman episodes, and plenty of the classic 1960s Batmans. Obviously, so I mean those guys, and I'm not saying Joaquin Phoenix doesn't, but those guys have more rewatchability to me because like they're less depressing and more intriguing to watch.
I can agree with that, but I do, and I think you might feel the same way. But I think it's like kind of one, two, three, huge gap, four,
Yeah.
five, six.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the top three, I mean, easily outweigh, you know, the bottom six. But here's a little follow up question. Kind of focusing on Leto's Joker. Uh, does this picture excite you? Does this picture redeem Leto for you? Like if he's as dark and as gritty as like Zack Snyder's able to like make a lot of his characters, like would you be okay with him being the predominant DC Universe Joker going forward in like future projects?
So you're talking about that new
Yeah, like the new
Batman,
photo.
the new Batman franchise. You mean like would I like to see Leto as the Joker and something like that?
Yeah, yeah,
I do. Matter of as long as he is this Leto that we're being shown in the Vanity Fair article with the pictures and everything like that. I don't like the just leave the tattoos at home. Personally, I feel like he has no place in a Justice League movie because to me, Joker is not a Justice League villain. He is
yeah.
a
I mean, I
Batman
will
villain.
I will note on like I saw like a full pullback of this picture and not just like a close up on Joker, and it could be doctored, but I don't think it is. But the full reveal of this photo shows Batman wearing his, like futuristic apocalypse dark side wear, like the long trench coat and stuff like that. So like I'm wondering, if like we're not gonna get like a Joker and like a throwaway like dream sequence versus, actually offering something to like a Justice League movie. And you're right, standalone Joker isn't strong enough to hold like the villain role in like a Justice League film. He would need to team up with somebody else to be like a really effective villain in a Justice League movie.
Yeah, because you got, I mean, like Darkseid, that is a kind of universal like threat. Steppenwolf is a planetary threat,
Yeah,
whereas Joker is just a threat to Gotham Bank.
yeah,
Not to belittle anything that he's done because he has
no,
done some
no,
pretty major things in the comic books and in the movies, but he's just more of a citywide threat. Like not and a citywide threat is not something that you call in the Justice League for. That's just my personal opinion.
no. I mean, like unless like somehow and even this dynamic seems weird to me, but like Darkseid using Joker as like a pawn per se, like, but I just don't see Joker falling in line with like Darkseid's vision, really.
Absolutely. And I don't see Darkseid even seeing the Joker as like to me he would be like he would treat the Joker as he was as just a regular human, like he's just a subhuman. He's just a cockroach, whereas or an ant, whereas Darkseid is the magnifying glass or holding the.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously, I mean, I will be curious to see, how Joker plays out, and maybe we'll get a peek at this because on Valentine's Day 2021, and this will be posted to the My Comic Life Facebook page, we're gonna get a full trailer of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, that's what I remember reading. I think in this Vanity Fair article that. Shout out to them, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
I keep mentioning them. Might as well give them a shout out. But the one that we got before, I think is considered just a teaser.
And that was a heck of a long teaser, man.
I mean, but then again, it on the grand scheme of things, a 2-minute teaser does fall in line with the Zack Snyder kind of like, cause
Yeah.
it's a 4-hour movie. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it would make sense.
Let's wrap up this segment on that note. So originally we reported that, hey, Zack Snyder's gonna cut this thing into like 4, 1-hour segments, so it can be episodic, and then you get the news that it's like, hey, no, fuck 4-hour episodic segments. I'm giving you one 4-hour movie. Alex, are you gonna sit for 4 hours, or like, are you gonna watch like 2 hours, like take like a 20-minute break, like grab some food and then come back? Like, are you gonna be able to like watch a 4-hour movie in like one sitting? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to watch it in spurts because I'm not sitting down and watching no 4-hour movie, dude. I got shit to do today.
Yeah.
I got bills to pay. Like there's money machine don't stop. It's. But it's 4 hours. That's like a Lord of the Rings, dude. Like that's a whole event. Like you plan your entire day around that, and I just can't. And like I'm in my 30s, dude. Like I'm a grown ass man. I can't be spending half of my waking day watching this movie. Although I mean I sit here and I pontificate, but I probably will. If it is good, I might end up just like if it can suck me in, then I'll stick it out. But yeah.
Yeah, no, same with you. Like, I plan to watch like 2 hours, like stretch my legs, go grab some lunch, go do some grocery shopping, come back, maybe watch another 2 hours. But you're right. It may pull like that rare Lord of the Rings, style, card. I don't think it will. If it does, it'll blow me away. But to where like, yeah, you'll fully suck me in and it won't feel like 4 hours, which I hope it does. If it's that good, I'll give this film like a 10, like a perfect 10, if it can do that for me,
And I hope that it does because this is something that I know DC has their hits with the Wonder Woman, the first
Wonder
one.
Woman, Shazam, and Aquaman, and Harley Quinn, The Tale of My Emancipation.
I'll put Birds of Prey in there because that was I actually watched that recently again and it holds up.
I liked it. Yeah, it definitely holds up. All right, though. Moving over to the Marvel side of things, during this year's NFL Championship game that rhymes with Super Mole, because we can't say that name here without getting our pantsuit off of us, the Marvel Cinematic Universe unveiled its newest trailer for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. The action-packed trailer recently set a record for streaming services with over 125 million views in under 24 hours. One of the biggest questions fans have had since the commencement of the Avengers Endgame is who will be taking up the mantle of Captain America. Series co-star Anthony Mackie assured us, though, that this series will give us a definitive answer to that question. So we got this fantastic, like what I call like sizzle reel, like 2-minute trailer. It's on our Facebook page. It's on YouTube. You can look it up there. Go to our Facebook page first. That's better.
Of course.
Just initial thoughts, Alex. Like, are you excited? Did you like what you saw? Was it too bland for you? What did you think?
So, as far as like Marvel movie goes, my favorite one is The Winter Soldier. Like to me, it was like the perfect movie. Like it has everything that you want in a movie. It was spy thriller, action, over the top hero, like stunts, and it was just perfect. All right, and I feel like this is in tune with that, so it made me super excited already without even having looked at the trailer. Now, after I watched the trailer, I got even more excited because you get the confirmation that Zemo's in there. You get confirmation that Um, what's her name? Sharon Carter is in there. You know, Agent Carter is in there, and I believe you and I were both talking before the show we started recording, and you brought up a great point, but it's like, how did Zemo get out? And that's something that I hope that they delve into in the
Yeah, about to
show,
say
because you
our
had a pretty interesting theory as to how he managed to get out. Because I mean, he was in like supermax lockdown.
yeah, I mean, like like he like moved an inch and he got 50,000 volts running through him. Yeah, our theory before the show was that like during the snap, like everyone in his prison cell or everyone in his prison got snapped away, and Zemo's smart enough, like left to his own devices, that, he could break out of prison, and that's how he got out. I love that tagline, superheroes shouldn't exist on this world, or something like that. And I'm not done with my mission yet. Like that was haunting to me.
It was so good. He's such an underrated villain in the Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm glad that they're giving him a second chance, and he's not just one of those, because that has been kind of the pitfall of a lot of Marvel properties, is that they just have these one and done here, these one and done villains, and a lot of them don't deserve that. Like, I felt like Ultron should get more than one movie. I thought uh, Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, that definitely should have gotten more than one movie. And I'm super glad that they're actually expanding the Zemoverse, and we're gonna get more on his story. And I mean, actually, I think it was you who had sent me a few pictures in the text, where we actually got to take a look at his new costume and a couple of the new costumes that they have in the show, right?
Yeah, yeah. What do you? I mean, I'm excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier's costume. They look great. Zemo's costume hasn't blown me away yet. It's just kind of like a purple mask that you could pick up at Hot Topic. No offense to Hot Topic, I like that store, but yeah, just
This hasn't blown you.
yeah,
Oh man,
just it.
Sam says he looks like Purple Cobra Commander.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Curse you, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Destro, destroy them. Yeah, one scene in this trailer that caught my eye that I'm kind of excited about is it looks like Wyatt Russell, who's playing like a kind of darker version of Captain America, was like running on to a football field, wielding the shield like during a football game. Now, is that going to be like a point of contention? Like Anthony Mackie, Falcon doesn't pick up the shield right away, and the government wants him to. Like he says no, so like they give the shield to somebody else, and then like he comes back and is like, hey, you had no right to take that shield from me. Like I want it back, and the government's like not giving it back to you. Or I mean, like go back and watch the trailer, people, and look at the guy running onto the field. Like I said, that's Wyatt Russell who's playing, and I'm blanking on the actual character's name, but he's playing like a
U.S.
pseudo.
agent.
Yes, U.S. agent, and he's playing a pseudo Captain America, and he's got what looks like the Captain America shield in his hand, and then later you see Anthony Mackie. I mean, badass Anthony Mackie wielding that shield. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a point of contention in the show. Who gets the shield? Um,
Yeah, you bring up a really good point with that, and so it could be the whole the big story arc could be, Mackie tries the shield first, fails, feels like he can't do it, gives up the mantle. In comes U.S. agent. Something happens with there, and then all of a sudden Mackie, redeems himself at the end, and maybe he does finally take up the mantle of Captain America. That'd be, I mean, that's pretty much your story right there. And
yeah, I mean, because like the story arc for that would be that U.S. agent is using that shield in a way that Captain America would never use that shield, or he's being more violent with that shield than Captain America would be, and Captain America
that's
is
what it is in the comics, correct? That's because
yeah,
U.S.
yeah.
agent. I think he's notoriously much more
Yeah, he
serious
wears like a
and
gun
violent.
like strapped to his hip, and like he'll block bullets with the shield, but then like he'll like, where like Cap, when like Cap took on like Bartok and the Winter Soldier on the boat and like knocked him out, you know, the U.S. agent wanted to, put two in his head, just to make sure that he stayed down. Yeah,
the old Indiana Jones method.
yeah, the pop pop, But no, I'm excited for this trailer. It was cut together beautifully. I cracked up in the beginning because it shows um, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie in couples counseling of all things together. Trying to work through their issues together. So clearly, you know, they're still having trouble because Anthony Mackie wouldn't push the seat forward in the back of the Beetle. You know,
I mean,
way back.
it's one of the best parts of the last 10 years in the whole Endgame saga was and it's so underrated, but the relationship that they had ever since from Winter Soldier going into Civil War, going into all the movies post those that Captain America trilogy. The relationship between Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan as Falcon and the Winter Soldier has just it's always been almost like sibling rivalry, and it's so good. Their chemistry is it's very like palatable, and I'm glad that Marvel and Disney decided to take it and run with it, because it almost comes off as natural and like you said, the couples therapy scene, and it's a theme throughout the entire trailer. And even with them at the very end, them having that stare off competition where they kind of get on the counselor's nerves, and it's just so, because that's something that's so relatable, that it is it works very well for that duo. And I honestly can't wait. This is probably has me the most excited as far as these Disney Plus properties has to go.
Oh yeah, same here. I mean, A, great sizzle reel of a trailer. B, you got a great villain in Zemo back, even if his costume looks like it's rented from Hot Topic slash rental GI Joe. Good point there. C point, love to see Sharon Carter in action. She makes my heart go a flutter just a little bit.
Oh man,
I would happily live across the hall from Sharon Carter. No problem. But yeah, so I think, this is very different from what we're getting out of WandaVision, but that's okay. Wanda's a little bit more, kind of like mysterious and dark and like what's going on here. And with the Falcon and like the Winter Soldier, you're going to get the steak and the sizzle and like the action and just that fun Marvel action that you want with like still like a great villain and an intriguing story. And so I'm excited to see where this goes. What are your final thoughts on this trailer?
Absolutely knocked it out of the park. I hope that they don't put anything else out.
Nope. Yeah, you're right.
And
Don't need it.
They just kind of mic drop on this, and they just let us strap in and get ready for the ride. I mean, with that being said, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is set to debut on Disney Plus March 19th, closely after the commencement of Marvel Studios' WandaVision.
And we will be, bringing you our thoughts on both WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. In fact, speaking of WandaVision, we have got 2 times the amount of fun here for you, or 2 times the reviews here. We are covering WandaVision episode 4 and 5 this week. So kicking it on over to like the Marvel TV side of things. Episode 4 is entitled "We Interrupt This Program," and episode 5 is entitled "On a Very Special Episode." So episode 4, we see Captain Monica Rambeau, an agent of S.W.O.R.D., returns to life following the blip to find her mother Maria has died of cancer. Now, 3 weeks later, Monica returns to work and is sent by acting director Tyler Hayward to help FBI agent Jimmy Woo with a missing persons case in Westview, New Jersey. They discover a hexagonal static CMBR field surrounding the town, which Monica is pulled into. Within 24 hours, S.W.O.R.D. establishes a base around the town, sends drones and an agent in to investigate. Dr. Darcy Lewis studies the phenomenon and discovers the broadcast signals for the sitcom WandaVision. They They then use this to observe events inside the town, learning that real residents have been cast in the sitcom and seeing Monica appear as Geraldine. Darcy and Jimmy unsuccessfully attempt to use the radio to contact Wanda. When Monica mentions Ultron, Wanda casts her out of the town, and the sitcom illusion disappears, and Wanda sees Vision appear as he did when he died. Horrified by this, she restores the illusion. What did you think of episode 4, Alex? You were the one on the end of our last podcast. It was like, look, man, this show doesn't pick up for me. I'm gonna wait for like the rest of the episodes to come out and then binge them. This isn't doing it for me. So, I mean, did episode 4 kick it up for you?
I gotta say that it did. I know that you were the one who said, you gotta watch 4, just at least watch 4, and I'm glad I did because it does kind of pick up at least a little bit. It kind of draws you in a little bit more. And anytime I get to see Kat Dennings is like,
Oh yeah.
like all right, let's go. Now it's a show. I did like I think this was, what was this, the 80s episode, right? So.
Episode 5 was the 80s episode. This episode 4
Okay.
didn't really have like a decade per se, because like it took place more outside of the, like it showed like everything like leading up.
That's right.
Leading up
Okay,
to like
so
Monica going into like the 70s episode.
I thought it was really cool the way that they had shown what happened when somebody was brought back from the blip, and how this was basically happening at the same time as Endgame, pretty much.
Yeah. No, you touched on an excellent point there. I mean, like we saw part of the blip in Spider-Man Far From Home, but like they showed it as like this like really great kind of funny and like fun event. Like the marching band comes back in the gym. Peter and like his best friend are like blip back, and like they see each other in like the hallway and give each other like this big hug. WandaVision showed like the negative side of like the blip coming back. I mean, like people like coming back from like hospital beds, people panicking, running around like trying to find like their like loved ones, because for the people coming back from the blip, this was instantaneous. You don't get that heroic Spider-Man swinging in, landing, posing on a rock and whipping his mask off and going, Captain, or Iron Man, I'm here. No, like this was like terrified people being like, look, 5 years haven't passed for me. Like I was gone 5 minutes ago. Where's my wife? Like where's my son? Where's this person? Where's that person? And you see like this hospital staff overwhelmed by like trying to like just reeling and trying to deal with this.
It was absolutely horrifying to watch when she goes to the desk and she's asking about her mother,
Oh
and she
God,
finally calls
heartbreaking.
the physician that was treating her, and she had to break the news to her, which was, and she took it like a champ. She went. I mean, I'm sure she took her time to grieve, and then she went back to work, and they sent her on on task. And I mean, huge fan of Jimmy Woo. I loved him in Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad to see him back.
I'm glad that a lot of these people that a lot of these people are given the chance to kind of come back and show what they've been doing for the last 5 years, and hopefully Marvel's not done with them either. I do hope that, based off of what I saw on this episode, I hope that like Jimmy Woo and Monica Rambeau actually get like an X-Files type show.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah,
Universe.
There's been like a big petition online of either like Jimmy Woo and Monica, or like Jimmy Woo and Darcy. Yes, doing like a fun X-Files like thing. Like just investigating odd occurrences around the Marvel universe. I would watch the shit out of that, man. Like, please,
Oh, absolutely.
green light that show. There's enough weird shit in the wake of like post snap, post multiverse into madness stuff. This thing writes itself. Like you could write episode after episode of like, heck, go back to the New Mexico town that Thor destroyed in like the first Thor movie and have something weird happen there.
Absolutely. I feel like this, and I hope they do listen to the petition. I'll sign it. But to move on, this whole thing. Once Monica mentions Ultron, dude,
Yeah,
That was it. That was crazy.
that
Like
is like the
she,
no word in Wanda's world. Don't mention
like,
Ultron.
and it's so crazy that whenever she like kind of cocks her head, and she just like, and all of a sudden her accent comes back, and it's like, oh, now you messed up.
Yeah,
And she just
now
immediately
you
just
done it.
casts her completely out of the town. And I got to tell you, dude, that thing with Vision, when you got to see just that little like like 2 or 3 frames of him with the with the Infinity Stone missing out of his head and all the color gone from his body, and to think that she's just lugging around this Vision corpse, like just dragging it around with her while she's has this warping this reality around her, that is terrible when you think about it.
Yeah, all right. So, question here: Vision dead, Vision alive.
Vision dead, bro.
Oh man, I'm on Team Vision alive. I so want him to be alive. I'll
I
tell you.
honestly think the Vision is dead.
Oh man, I'll tell you one other thing that caught my eye about this about episode 4 before we jump over to episode 5 here is that coming out of the sitcom bubble, they give Monica Rambeau a series of tests, and one of them is like an X-ray, and her physician comes around and like shows her X-ray, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she's like, "Look, this is just a bright white blank X-ray, and there's nothing, like there's no like internal organs here that I can X-ray." And she's just like, "Oh yeah, that's nothing. Don't worry about it." Just hops off the bed and just gets up and keeps on walking. That caught my attention. That caught my eye. Why were her X-rays just showing up as like pure white images?
I loved that this episode, like, not only did it answer certain questions that we had from previous episodes, like who was the beekeeper that came out of the sewer,
Yeah,
and I mean, the drone, the helicopter that she found in the bush that had, Jimmy Woo's voice over the radio. Who was watching? And even at the end of episode 1, when we see somebody watching the TV show, it was it's crazy that it not only answered questions that we had in previous episode, but also left us with more questions. Like you said, with this whole what's going on with Monica Rambeau's kind of like internal organs,
yeah, exactly.
and
But yeah,
I
go
hope that
ahead.
they do go on to. I don't know. At this moment, it's just like yeah. At first, I was just like, man, this is boring as shit. I hope like somebody please like either throw a pie or throw a punch. Like it was really annoying me at that point. But I think now I'm just like, okay, I'll go ahead and ride this out because they know what they're doing, obviously. And
Yeah, it's raising, like, I mean, like we're talking about it right now. It's raising all these like what if questions, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and also kudos to Disney for doing like a week to week to week release here, because yeah, like you don't get all the answers at once. It keeps you guessing, and it keeps building and building and building, and we need more of that. Like, we don't need an entire season always just dropped in our laps like binge. Like, I'm loving this because yeah, like I'm discussing like with my friends through like text or like like Facebook chat, or with you on the show here. Like, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? Or like, what do you think about that? So no, this is great.
I did like, that they. So, do you think that with the popularity of this show and the added popularity that making it episodic weekly brings, do you think do you think Netflix has taken notice to this, and like the next season of Stranger Things might not be just a big binge dump?
I would hope so, and I'm getting some Stranger Thing vibes, like starting to like a little bit, like watching WandaVision makes me like want to go back and rewatch Stranger Things just for all the oddities and ins and outs, and like like the weird hexagonal dome that she created. Kind of like reminds me of like the Upside Down a little bit.
The Upside Down is in Westview, New Jersey, confirmed.
Yeah, yeah, confirmed, confirmed. But all right, moving on to episode 5, titled "On a Very Special Episode," in a 1980s setting. Kind of like oh my gosh, I'm blanking. But
These are
Alex
like
P.
the Roseanne, dude. These are like the Connors.
I was going more with Alex P. Keaton, Michael J. Fox 1980s family sitcom is what I got from it. But it's a 1980s setting. Wanda and Vision struggled to stop Tommy and Billy from crying because yeah, Wanda had her babies. Agnes offers to help look after the boys, but Vision questions her behavior. He and Wanda are interrupted when Tommy and Billy suddenly age up to 5 years old, and then they get a family dog, and then the dog disappears at their house, and the boys have to go looking for it, and Wanda almost reveals her abilities to Agnes concerning Vision, while the boys again age up to 10 years old. At work, Vision gets an email from Sword that reveals the situation in Westview. He breaks through to a real Westview resident and discovers that Wanda is seemingly controlling the town. Sword sends a drone from the 1980s into Westview and attempts to kill Wanda on Hayward's orders. Wanda emerges from the static field in a very dramatic and badass scene, I might add, with the drone and warns Hayward to leave her alone. Scared by the drone, Sparky runs away and later dies. Vision confronts Wanda about her actions, but they are interrupted when Pietro arrives. Watching the broadcast, Darcy notes Pietro has been recast. Episode 5, I mean, just like episode 4 was like the boiler, like episode 5 was like the explosion, like, oh my gosh, it paid off. It had a great cameo. Theory that I'm blanking on her name. The next door neighbor who always shows up to help out.
Agnes.
Agnes killed the dog.
Oh, you think so?
I'm getting that feeling, man. I'm getting that feeling. What did you think of episode 5 overall, though?
So I liked this episode for different reasons. I did like that it seemed to have a little bit more of that. Like some of these characters are starting to become self-aware that they are being controlled by Wanda, namely Agnes. When she comes in and she like looks Wanda dead in her face and is like, "Do you want me to take that from the top?" Or she's like, "Do you want me to read that again? Did I read that wrong?"
Yeah.
And it seems like she knows that it's her job to keep Wanda happy, and that is kind of like rule number one is to just not ruin the reality for Wanda. And I liked how Vision is kind of waking up to it. He awakens that guy who lets him know, like, hey man, this hurts, and please, you have to stop her. And it starts to make you just go like, what the hell's going on with this? And especially at the end when he before Pietro kind of arrives and breaks up the tension, you get Wanda and Vision are kind of arguing, and he's like, "You can't control me like you can control them." And she kind of looks at him and does that little tilt with her head, and she's just like, "Can't I?"
Oh yeah, no, and then
oh,
they
man.
fly up in the air, and she gets red hex bolts in her hand, like he starts powering up, like they're about to have it out, about this.
And not only that, but also when you get to see that, because up until this point, I thought Wanda had just like she just had a full on just psychosis episode where she doesn't even know what she's doing. But when you see her come out of the bubble and she interacts with the real world, those sword agents on the outside, you know that, oh, okay, so maybe she does know what she's doing with this, and it just leads to more questions, man. I just got more and more questions.
Yeah, well, so like my heart kind of breaks for Wanda because in either episode 4 or 5, you see like closed circuit camera footage of like Sword has gotten a hold of like Vision's body, and at least my interpretation of it, they were trying to like recreate and weaponize Vision, and that does not sit well with Scarlet Witch because that's never what Vision wanted. He never wanted to be used as a weapon. He only wanted to be an instrument of peace. And so when she finds out, Shield or Sword is trying to weaponize Vision's body, she snaps, man, and she breaks into Sword on like an unheard of level of like power she's wielding, and she steals Vision's body and like goes to Westview and like kicks off this whole event there. So really, it's kind of Sword's fault for all this stuff that's going on right here,
Absolutely, and I think, and it blew my mind, to see Evan Peters in this show because he was. I mean, I rag on the X-Men movies a lot in the X-Men universe as far as the movies goes. Like to me, there's might be just like I might be able to count on two fingers the amount of X-Men movies that I enjoyed. But to see, but he was a for me at least, one of the best parts of those franchises was Evan Peters' portrayal of Quicksilver, and to see him at the door instead of Aaron Johnson, who is the if you guys don't know, he was the MCU version that was in Avengers: Age of Ultron, that Quicksilver, and the way she looks at him at first, and then she's just like, okay, I guess we're going with this. Like he had literally been recast, and she was forced to just deal with it. It's to me, I'm just if this means that Evan Peters is back in these superhero movies and that Quicksilver is back, then I'm all here for it, dude. But what did you think? I mean, did it take you by surprise? Like,
oh my gosh, it totally caught me off guard. I was expecting the Age of Ultron, Quicksilver. The question it raised in my mind is, does this mean that like she accidentally, were the X-Men were mutants in like their own separate Marvel universe, and like since she created this, did she, rip a hole or like merge these universes together accidentally, which kind of leads into the whole Doctor Strange, multiverse madness. But is this gonna is this WandaVision event gonna be the reason we get mutants now in the Marvel universe?
That would be that. That's a very interesting theory, and I love. I would like eventually to see the X-Men make the jump into the MCU. I know that Disney bought Fox, and so they managed to pick up a couple of heavy hitters. Like the X-Men, we already said, Fantastic Four, Deadpool, people like that. I would love to see them in the MCU. I don't know if I'd necessarily like to see them in the Avengers, type of properties, but I honestly have just overall, I know that the first 3 episodes, man, they might as well have put me to sleep, Sam. I gotta tell you, dude. I know a lot of people loved them, but I just could not get behind it. But 4 and 5, I liked a whole lot. What would you rate 4 and 5 as Go ahead and give us.
Yeah. So 4, we interrupt this program. That gets a 8.8 on my scale out of 10. Still a solid B plus range. Episode 5 though gets a 9 for me. Like just Vision waking up to the fact that like, hey, and Vision being scared too, because like he confronts Wanda and goes, I don't know who I am. I don't remember who I am. And I'm scared of that fact. And then, like the X-Men Quicksilver showing up, that just kind of, that put it over to like a 10 for me. Sorry, 9.
So over a 9. I like that rating.
Yeah.
I think for me, if I were to rate episode 4 and 5, I think first I got to preface this by saying like, Kat Dennings will get you a baseline B.
Every time.
Every time. All right. I don't give a shit what she's in. It'll get a B for me. I do give 4. I give 4 a B, and I'll probably give 5 a B as well, but maybe a little bit of a higher B because I do see things are starting to ramp up, and I honestly, I can't wait to go over episode 6 next week. So you guys better get on it.
Yeah, man.
Give you guys at least 1 week. So
give you 1 week. We got 4 episodes left. We're coming into the home stretch. But as always, this will wrap up this episode of My Comic Life. We thank you so much for listening. And as always, ditch the herd. Be a nerd. Stay strong out there, my friends.